Hello, party people! Hello, it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today in the porch because the porch has good lighting today. So here we are, maybe a little bit echoey. There might be a cat, things and stuff. Anyways, I'm here today, very excited to show you project number 3, which is a necklace. Project number 3 using these little beads here. And I'm super excited. I got a couple of techniques I wanted to talk about before we get going, because I am going to be making this a front button necklace with a little bit of leather. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of ways. If you have a button, great. If you don't, great. Don't worry, got you covered. So let's get down onto the mat, get this party started. Alright, party people, here we are down on the mat. Just wanted to show you everything that we are going to need for this necklace. I hope you can see everything okay. So here are the items that we were using. I had, if you watched the plan video, I had used most all of the pink crystals, most all of the purple. What I have here is all of the pink that I've reserved for this necklace. And then I've split the purple into 2 separate equally amounts because I decided to do color blocking on this necklace. Also, I have a few of the green crystals, and over here I have the purple flower. I have this one toggle which I didn't have a top for. I'm gonna use that as a charm. I have added some few seed beads I found. I'm going to be using 22 gauge copper wire, 7-strand bead-along cording, crimp beads, and then I have this 2mm leather, and then I have 2 options for a button. So this is, I'll show you about this button situation, and then all of my findings. So basically, these are our beads that we're going to use, and then these are the items that I have added. So you do not need this much leather. We're going to do a little leather focal, but it's really not going to be this long. This just happened to be the length that I had. You need some seed beads, a button, or you can have a washer and a wide hole bead, and we'll discuss that. You need some wire to wire up your pendant, some string, and some crimp beads. So let me get this all organized and we will get going. Okay, so there's 2 ways that we can do the focal part of this necklace. So let me just explain to you what the focal part is going to be so you can make your decision. So if you have a shank button, you can do it the way I'm going to do it. If you don't have a shank button and you want to use a washer and a large hole bead, you can totally do that. And I'm going to show you that it's going to be a little bit different. So basically what we're going to have is we're going to have a knot here and a knot over here. Okay, they're not going to be this big, but you're going to have a knot here and a knot here. This portion is going to hold your pendant. So this is going to be the focal of your necklace, and you'll have 2 knots right here. Okay, I hope this is making sense. So this is going to be the knots. The beading is going to go on the top part of this. So here's the thing. If you have a shank button, we're going to put the shank button on the end of the beading. And we're going to make this our buttonhole so that when it's done, this goes on the end of the beading and this is the buttonhole that attaches the necklace. Now, if you don't have a buttonhole, a button, that's fine. You don't have to use that, but it is going to make it a little different. So instead, you're going to make yours backwards. You're going to put on your large hole bead like this. For the sake of this, I'm just going to bring it down so it's easier to see. And then you're going to put on your washer with 2 strands. You're going to straighten this out. Okay. And in essence, this is then going to become a button. You would tie a knot here. And so you would be doing yours backwards. You would tie your knot here with your button on one end, and then you would tie, you would probably have to use two because you got two strands unless you cut it off. Then you're going to tie a knot on this side. So then when you come around to the end over here, instead of have a button, you are going to make just a loop of seed beads, and that's going to be what's going to hold your button into place. So you can do it two ways, okay? But for the sake of this, I'm going to use the shank button. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a button hole for the shank button. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie an overhand knot. I don't want to use too much leather here. So I'm going to make a loop. And I'm going to go around with both tails and through. Easy peasy overhand knot. And now here is where you have to be sure that your button is going to fit through comfortably, right? So what I do is I kind of just gauge it like that. And if it has a little bit of wiggle room, that's fine because you don't want it to be too much. And he will fit in there like that. So you can easily move through. That might even be a little big, but it's fine. So now that we have that, so it's going to fit in there like so, right? Okay. So for right now, we're not going to worry about this tail. What we are going to worry about is putting on our pendant. So we're going to put our pendant on. Now, you can use a jump ring for this if you want to. Let's see. Gotta make sure I got this going the right way. So the pendant is facing out. Very good. Okay, I'm just gonna give this a trim so it's not in our way. There we go. So here we are. Now, I want this to kind of hang down a little bit, but not too much. Okay, this is the focal of our necklace because I want this to have gravity working against it so that it continues to stay shut. So I am going to tie my next knot about 4 inches away. Okay, about 4 inches, but right here. So in order to do that, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm just going to make a loop. That might be a little far. I'm going to make a loop. And I'm going to... Oh, too much. Okay, make a loop. And then bring everything through. Come on through everything. There we go. And then I'm just gonna make sure that I still have what I want as far as length right here, which I believe I do. And I'm just gonna tighten that up. Now, of course, you can always put leather glue on here, Loctite, you know, do whatever you gotta do. Whatever makes you happy, just do that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this one at an angle. We'll fix those up when we're done. And so that's what we got. This is the focal portion of our necklace. I hope you guys can see everything. I don't usually do this on the porch. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so this is the focal portion of our necklace. Looking pretty snazzy. So now when it hangs down, it's going to be like so. Now we can move on to the second portion. Now for us, since our button is going to be over here, we're just going to attach our beading string on this side. So in order to do that, you're going to get your 7-strand beading wire. These beads are not heavy at all. And we're going to get about 1.5 feet of beading wire, which might be a little excessive, but you know. And it's all unraveled. Okay. So we're going to add this portion here. So I'm going to take my seed beads now. And this was just a mix of seed beads. I think this is actually just James mix. I'm not sure. I found it in one of my boxes in one of my cute little jars. So we're going to use those. I'm also going to need a crimp bead. Okay, got my crimp bead. And I'm going to need a bead cover. Alrighty, right. Here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my crimp bead and some seed beads. Okay, you don't need that many seed beads. You're just making a loop. I'm just putting these on here because these are going to loop around this leather, and I just didn't want it to just be naked. So, let's see. I'll do a little more. I better just move that down so I don't drop it. Get a few seed beads on there. I'm just putting the purple ones from here. You could put a mix, whatever you want to do. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put this through here and then run back up through that crimp bead. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like. That's how we're going to attach it. It'll be a little tighter once I get it crimped. I just prefer to crimp this way, so I'm just turning it for the sake of putting it together. Okay, I'm going to get my crimp tool, crimping plier, and I'm going to make sure this is not twisted, which it's not. Put my crimp on. Okay, there's half the crimp. And then be very careful not to grab hold of them glass seed beads. Oh yeah, good to go. Okay, let me pick up these little seed beads so I don't get them all over the place. Alrighty. So now we are going to add our crimp cover. And to do that, I'm just going to put him on there. Make sure he's on there the way I want him to be. And give him a little squish. And kind of straighten him up a little bit. Alright, we are good to go. So you can trim this a little bit. And now, all we have to do is put on our crystals. Alright, so I've got my one side of purple crystals and my other side of purple crystals, and I've decided to do some color blocking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on this first bunch of purple, then the green, which I'm going to have to split out as well. Okay, easy peasy. So then the green, then all the pink, and the other side of purple. So here we go with that. This is just stringing, super easy peasy. Alright guys, so we got our stringing portion done. Now I did not end up using all the pink. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pink is what I ended up using. Of course that might change based on, you know, whatever amount length you want to make, but this looks to be about the length I would want, and it's exactly 18 inches. Maybe a little more. No, about 18. So I'm going to then attach my button. Pretty easy peasy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab two these guys. Now here's the thing you could do is you could go ahead and put a crimp bead on, which is probably what I am going to do. And I'm going to give this enough little space to kind of move around a little bit. I don't want it to be too tight because it does have to lay appropriately. So I'm probably going to just crimp this about right here. And get a hold of it. If I can get a hold of it. This is why I like to do it this way. Now I've only got this on one side. And I need it to roll over. It's not rolling very good. All right, you. All right. Try it this way. There we go. Now we're talking. So since it's just a flat crimp, basically, I mean, I rolled it over, but since this is going to hold the beads on, that is its purpose. And I'm going to cover it with the crimp cover. Okay, so now that's what I got going on there. You don't have to do this, but I just figure, you know, why not? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on our button. Oh, I got to put my other crimp tube on, crimp bead. My other crimp bead on, and then my button. And now here you could attach to a jump ring if you wanted, and then add the button onto that, but I'm just going to add it onto here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through this crimp bead, and I am going to leave some space because this has to go into the leather, right? And I am going to leave some space for that to happen, but also I want this other crimp bead to be up here pretty dang close to the first one. And get a hold of it. get it untangled and commit to the crimp. So now, because I have 2 strands in here, it should be a lot easier to crimp over, which it was. Everything seems secure there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snip up pretty dang close. Not cutting my other wire. There we go. Now we're going to add another crimp cover. Oop, come here, you. And I'm going to, so I did leave a little bit of space here, but I'm going to put them on there pretty close to the other. I could have even been a little bit closer, but it's fine. Get that guy closed up all the way. Yeah, I could have even been a little bit closer, but it's pretty good. Okay, so now the end result is that this guy goes into here, and because we have that extra wire, right? And if for some reason your crimp comes undone, you're not going to lose all your beads. So that's good. Here is what it looks like. The whole works. So this leather is going to, once it gets on skin, it's going to warm up. It's going to loosen up a little bit. It's not going to be as stiff and that type of thing, which is great. But here's what she looks like. So let me flip over and I'll show you it on. I wanted to mention here, if you're doing the washer situation and you have your washer right here, what you are going to do to end yours, instead of doing this button, is you are going to make another beaded loop like this, big enough for your button to fit through. And so on this end, you will have a beaded loop just like on this side, and you will put your button through that loop in order to get your necklace to cooperate with you. Okay, here we are. And so here's our necklace. Pretty snazzy. And then we just undo the button. Then you're just going to bring that around like so. And you're going to button right here. Get it sorted. See me. There we go. Get yourself sorted. And there you go. You got yourself a front leather color block necklace. So in the back, you're going to see all the colors. The front top here looks more purple. Pretty snazzy, I think. Here's the back. I dig it. Of course, I'll get you guys some pictures. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you are, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Make a comment. Let me know how you're doing with your bargain bead box. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can find me on the internet again. I will see you guys in the next one for project number 4. I think we got a couple projects left, so still more to go in the mini-series. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm sending all the good beady vibes. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.